What up, y'all, and welcome back to the Illinois State Fairgrounds here at the Springfield Dirt Mile. And this time we're gearing up for the 8th race in the 2023 NRSL Digital Storm Cup Series. 60 laps of action, and Jonathan Zorlin is on pole for the 10th time in his Digital Storm Cup Series career. It's his first pole of the 2023 season. He's got your Daytona 500 winner, RJ Bishop, to his outside, with Allison Liera and Trey Smith in row 2. Before we get to the rest of the starting grid, for the second time this season in the Cup Series, we've got Vince Freeze in the booth. Vince, what's good, man?
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been since Daytona weekend where we did the speed weeks and qualifying and all that jazz. But we're back here at Springfield. A little bit different race than what you saw in the Truck Series. I expect this to be a little bit more spread out, and track position will matter. But we'll see.
Yes, indeed. Let's get to the rest of the starting grid. Jesse Turner, Kev Shearer, row 3. Charles Sanford and Alex Ferranti, row 4. And rounding out the top 10 is Quentin Moore and Richard Johnson. I'm going to go through the rest of the starting grid, and Vince is going to tell you who did not qualify for today's race.
Yeah, we got a lot of big names. We got Colin Cropley, Logan Williams, Alexander Rowe, who was our last year's defending winner. We'll get more on that later. Nico Tringali, another big name. Archibald Buttersworth, Dio Yepes, Owen Miles, Zachary DeLo, Lucas Catano, Logan York, another big name. Cole Hudson, Darian Ton, Christian Vargas, Riley Ream, Scott Roush, Vince Freeze, Zayden Davidson, and Sebastian Kuklon. So a lot of heavy hitters missing this show. And while I'm at, let's go to the past winners. I'm going to screw this up. I don't care anymore. 2017 was Austin Alves in the Ford.
You got it right.
I got it finally.
He got it right. He said he was going to screw it up, and he got it right.
Wild guess there. We got to make quick, though. 5-minute clock. 2019, Zachary Fitzwater, Chevy. 2020 as well, another Chevy. We had Seth Cole. And 2021, Jonathan Zorlin on the pole in a Chevy. As I said, Rowe missed, but he was the defending winner, so we'll get a new defending winner. Can Chevy make it 4 out of, I believe, 7? Or will Ford even it up? Or will we see someone like Toyota sneak in there?
I think it's 6. Is it 6 or 7?
6, excuse me.
Yep. Yeah. So, yeah, interesting thing we touched on in Jerky Pro was through the first 4 races, every manufacturer had won 1 race, and then Peter Onjek by 7 1,000ths of a second yesterday afternoon got Toyota their second win, which they had not won at the track since its inception in 2017, so it came a bit of a full circle moment there. But here in Digital Storm, 3 wins from Chevy drivers, 2 wins from Ford, no Toyota wins, no Dodge wins. Could that change today? We'll have to find out, but Zorlin's the one on pole. 10th time in his career, he joins Seth Cole, Charles Sanford, and Dylan Young as a 10-time plus pole winner, and actually ties Dylan Young for 3rd all-time on the poles list. Green flag is out, and we are underway at the Springfield Dirt Mile. Now we saw, Charles Sanford straight to the bottom 3 wide, make it 4 wide. Off of turn 2 already. Oh, and Bishop's in the wall.
Yeah, very unusual start. You don't see this in the Cup Series ever, to be honest. So let's see if they start to settle it out here. They're definitely racing a little more intense than usual, for sure.
Man, Charles sent it 3 wide, then they were 4 wide because RJ Bishop slid up, and it was just pandemonium. Oh, Quentin Moore and the Kev Shearer a bit there.
Did anyone else get into the wall and cause a lap 2 caution? I think we're clear.
I think we're clear so far. Lights are still green. Zorlin, the clear race winner, or race leader, sorry. Yeah, we are still green here. Was going to go into a point. Peter Onjek was the first to 2 wins in Jerky Pro yesterday on the season. We have yet to have anybody win twice here in Digital Storm this year. Will Zorlin be the first one to make it to 2? He's a 2-time defending champion, so it would be quite fitting if he were to do so. As now we've got a caution on the racetrack here, lap 3, as it looks like something happened in turns 1 and 2. What a surprise, Vince.
Nah, no surprise there. It's just typical racing here at Springfield in the early laps. Let's see what happened, though.
Taking a look at what brought out our first caution of the race. Watch the orange 53 on the bottom of the screen just kind of sends it. Oh, they almost wrecked up ahead, but Keith sends it up into Jessica Shelton. And then William Brock is the one sent up into the cushion, spins it out completely. Keith Rich and Shelton save it. Shelton gets in the outside wall. And no one was coming, but they elected to throw the caution for this. And we will line them back up single file and go back racing. Getting ready to go back racing. We will have 54 laps to go. William Brock still in the race. Jonathan Zorlin, your race leader. Charles Sanford in second place. Allison Liera is third. Quinton Moore fourth. Jesse Turner fifth. Kev Shearer sixth. Dylan Young seventh. Trey Smith eighth. Cole Deaver ninth. And Richard Johnson rounds out the top 10. RJ Bishop down to 12th from the front row. Sameta Oskin 13th. Nate Rogers 15th. Going over some notables. Seth Cole 18th. Fitzwater 19th. Andrew Rich 22nd. Zach Flickinger 37th. Jessica Shelton 41st, just involved in the accident. Green flag is back out, and we are back underway here at the Springfield Dirt Mile. Quinton Moore going to waste a little time here. To the inside of Liera he goes. Oh, and Zorlin's into the outside wall.
3 wide back there. It's Kev Shear making it 3 wide.
Liera down from third to, I believe, sixth there right on the restart as Charles Sanford took the race lead away from Zorlin after Zorlin put it in the outside wall off of turn 2.
Not a big deal, though. Well, actually, no, it is a big deal because, I'm going to say tire fall off, I think. What's the tire fall off we're looking at? Half a second?
Maybe. They might get there. Different tire here in the Cup Series this year as well.
Yeah, we saw about 3.5 tenths in the Truck Series. So let's see. As you can see, yeah, we're already almost 2 seconds. Top 10 spread through 9 laps. It took about 30 laps to get to that. In the Truck Series, the Zorlin looks low. Are we going to see this battle like we saw with the Truck Series? Peter and Sam. We have Zorlin versus Sanford. We'll find out.
And I'm getting a feeling of a little deja vu from this, Vince, because these were the two that battled it out for the win 2 years ago in 2021, and Zorlin was the one who came out on top of that battle.
Yeah, but keep in mind that was the playoff system. That was a different system compared to this regular season. Whoa, Sanford almost in the wall. But Zorlin does clear up.
That is true, but it's still deja vu nonetheless.
That is true.
Same drivers fighting for the lead again, man. What can you say? And so early in this one, I believe it was later in the race that battle occurred back 2 years ago. But that little bit of scuff to the outside wall doesn't seem to be hurting the 5 of Zorlin at all. As this year, Chevrolet has won 4 races so far. Auto Club, Miller Motorsports Park, Phoenix, and Kansas. The last by your current race leader, Jonathan Zorlin. 3 wins for Ford, RJ Bishop at Daytona, Dylan Young at Texas, and then Sameta Oskin recently at Indianapolis. So no wins on the year by Dodge or Toyota. The battle for the lead continues to heat up here between Sanford and Zorlin. And much as expected, Vince, much more of a spread out type of race here in the Cup Series. Just, not as draft dependent as the Jerky Pro trucks are. And a little bit more of off throttle time too, since these Cup cars reach about 162, 163 down the straightaway. Jerky Pro trucks, I think, topped off around 157. It's not a lot, but it's enough to increase the lift time.
Yeah, about 162 right there. It's about down to 120. Ooh, actually about 115. Yeah. That's big spread, and that's just the usual more torque, more power in these Cup cars. You don't have as much gap distance per se. Oh yeah, you can see the field is really spread. Your first battle isn't really till 12th, 13th.
Yeah, and we are 25% of the way into this one, so as it looks like the front of the field has stabilized a little bit, let's take a look through the field. Charles Sanford, the race leader over Jonathan Zorlin. Quentin Moore in third, Kev Shearer fourth, and Richard Johnson in fifth place. Richard did a really good job at Indianapolis, and he's looking for another great finish here this afternoon. He was in danger of falling outside of the top 30, but no longer after the race at Indianapolis. Came into this race 22nd in the point standings. Sameta Oskin, your recent race winner from Indy, is in sixth. His teammate Dylan Young, who won at Texas, just getting by Turner for seventh. Liera down to ninth place as battle is on for 10th between Dennis Moore and Zachary Fitzwater Sr. Dennis Moore in the truck race yesterday did a great job and doing a pretty dang good job here so far today against some of the best drivers in the Cup Series. Another driver that was up at the front of the field in the Jerky Pro race, Kate Anderson, on the door of a top 10 position here in the Cup race. So Kate in 12th, Seth Cole 13th, just past Corey Riggs. Nate Rogers in 15th place right now, your points leader coming into this race. 12 points over Sameta Oskin. Let's just go over the brief top five here. RJ Bishop third, 32 back. Keith Rich fourth, 35 back. And then tied for fifth, 41 back, is Dylan Young and Kev Shearer. So Nate looking to move forward, looking to try to maintain the points lead. He's had a pretty good year so far, despite not winning a race. Chris Harvey sits in 16th. Baran Auskus 17th. Has a win here in Jerky Pro. Skylar Taylor 18th. Rob Evans 19th. Cole Deaver rounds out the top 20 over teammate Lane Sanders. Now three wide there are the two RCR cars with Laura Chung. Then it's Derek Hamill side by side with RJ Bishop, who has really fallen from starting in second place. Ryan Brommer, another driver who did great things yesterday, currently struggling here today in 25th, side by side with Henry Sanford for that position. Andrew Rich not looking too hot today, which is pretty surprising to see for someone who grew up on the dirt, and you can see him really struggling there as he scrapes the outside wall off of turn two. He is side by side with Steven Waters. Trey Smith, who started up at the front of the field, just like RJ Bishop, has fallen down the running order. He is outside of the top 25, just in front of Alex Ferranti and Ace Rogers. Ricky Freeman Jr. now as we're getting outside of the top 30. Zach Flickinger, Keith Rich. How about Corey Raymond? This is his first start of the season. Same for Zach Carrington there in the 44. So now all 60 drivers have made at least one race. Enzo Nereza, Benjamin Ice, William Brock with the damage. He did not pit. Same for Jessica Shelton. And then Roy Ribbleton rounds out the running order. Back at the front of the field, Vince, Charles Sanford is still the race leader.
Yeah, it seems like Zorlin's the only one to keep pace, though. Quinn Moore's dropped off on that battle for a three-car pack. Is that just I say the Zorlin start? Wow, reminds me of Peter Onjak and Sam Young that one lap on lap 42. That's crazy. Here comes Zorlin now looking to send in a three.
Zorlin with a really good run there off of turn two and then makes the move into turn three. But you see Charles Sanford, not as much of an outside line run as the trucks have. Fights back there off of four, but Zorlin will clear him through one and two to take the race lead back. Fastest lap on the race belongs to the race leader once again of Jonathan Zorlin, a 25.637. See a lot more consistency here on this chart, Vince, compared to Jerky Pro. We had Max Anderson with the 1:25.717 time, and then 25 8s and 9s behind him. But here in the Cup Series, you've got 5 25-6s and 9 25-7s, so a lot more consistency and competitiveness here on the lap chart.
Yeah, you just see the draft does matter actually a little bit with first and second. And then third just has that bubble of air as Sanford looks again low. Yeah, this would be a milestone win for Roland. I'm pretty sure he's closing in on that magic 20.
Yes, indeed. Vince sits at 19 wins coming into today's race. He would be the first one to hit 20 wins if he were to get it done. And, man, the battle on the wins list last year was pretty close to start the year. And, you know, Sorlin had another great season, pulled away a little bit. Andrew Rich has not been as fortunate in years past. So he got a ton of wins in his sophomore year, 2018, when he had the 8-win season, and then he didn't race in 2019 due to an off-season injury. Came back in 2020, won 5 races. That put him back at the top of the wins chart, but in these last 2 years, Vince, he's won just 3 times. And once again, struggling again today. Go ahead, Vince.
Sometimes that injury just, you got to wake up and then you had those bounce back years. But one thing I got to say, man, is Fitzwater, man. I remember him put a slack on the Bristol Dirt a couple years ago. I think he's kicking himself here because he seems to have the fastest car through traffic today. But I don't see him making up 4.5 seconds with half the race to go.
And a lack of draft as well. As you see, Quinton Moore, Richard Johnson, Samet Oskin are all 3rd, 4th, 5th, closing up to the top 2. Kev Shearer 6th, Dylan Young 7th are just holding on to their draft. But it might be a matter of time as you see Fitzwater by himself in 8th as he pulls teammate Cade Anderson around Jesse Turner. Now Turner potentially going to lose a top 10 position here to Seth Cole. How about Audra Baranowskis, though, currently running in 12th place position. Pretty good day for her. She is really down in the points right now, stuck in go or go home qualifying. Yeah, she is not even inside the top 40. So it's been a tough year for her so far. Looking to get a good finish here today. A top 10 would really be good to boost her position in the point standings. Maybe start being locked in again as she was last year in her rookie season. But, you know, back to the whole wins thing, Vince. You know, Sorlin was sitting at 18 coming into the year with Andrew Rich, Liera both at 16. We had Seth Cole at 14 and Charles Sanford at 12. That was the point coming into the year. Now you have Zorlin at 19, Seth Cole up to 15. Zorlin looking to get number 20 to really make it, you know, his own mark. You know, if you look at a lot of series, there's usually that one guy who's way ahead on the wins chart. Zorlin's looking to make that himself here in the Digital Storm Cup Series. Some big names on the wins list, Vince, that haven't won yet this year include Rich and Liera, Charles Sanford, who's running there in second, Fitzwater, who's got 9 wins, Nate Rogers, your points leader, with 8. And then, of course, Alexander Rowe with 6. Once you hit 6 wins, you know, that's the elite company mark, is 6 wins in the series. Samet Oskin got his 6th last race at Indianapolis. We saw Dylan Young get number 7 at Texas. And, of course, Seth Cole got number 15 at Miller Motorsports Park. Outside of that, you had R.J. Bishop, Stephen Waters, and Henry Sanford all get their first career wins this year. And then, of course, Sorlin with career win number 19 back at Kansas. And here comes Charles Sanford, once again looking for the race lead.
Strowman just using that defensive line while Sanford searches for some grip in the middle of the corner. Gets a great exit, but so does Zorlin. Should stay equal. I think the gap stays about the same. Yeah, pretty much about half a second, or half a tenth loss there for Sam, but he gained so much in 1-2. Where Zorlin plays that 3 and 4 defensive game. Let's see if it happens again down here in 3 and 4.
And Charles just got a good run there out of turn, too, similar to what Sorlin had when Sorlin took the lead from him about, I'd say, 10 laps ago. Charles going to be looking to clear him here through 1 and 2. We'll see if Sorlin can challenge back right away or if it's going to take a couple of laps to get some momentum going his direction. Richard Johnson is up to 3rd. So Matt Oskin now up to 4th over Quinton Moore. So you see Kev Shearer, Dylan Young by themselves. Fitzwater 8th. Kate Anderson and Audra Baranowski up inside the top 10, Vince.
Yeah, past Seth Cole, dude. That's a big statement for sure.
I don't know if a 10th place run would put Audra up into the top 30, but it would be a big step in the right direction for her season. So we'll go through the field here one more time. Just trying to see who's made any gains here. How about Skylar Taylor in 13th? It's a pretty good run for him. He was one of our Corsair duel winners. Nate Rogers hasn't really gone anywhere. He is still in 15th place. Ace Rogers is up to 23rd. Man, Allison Liera has really fallen off. She is all the way down to 26th. It's not been her day. Same with RJ Bishop, 27th. Man, Andrew Rich has just gone nowhere. In 29th. Cole Deaver in 30th. And not the debut sack Carrington wanted. He is 42nd. Back at the front, battle is on again for the race lead here. Under 20 laps to go. Sorlin back to the point over Charles Sanford. And now here comes Samet Oskin, looking to put his hat in the mix for the race lead. Could Oskin go 2 wins in a row here in 2023? It's not something we really see done anymore, Vince, is people going back to back.
You would never expect it from Mr. Silky Smooth himself. I mean, this guy is not meant to do a win streak. He's meant to do consistency. So let's see. Maybe he's turning the wick up with the shorter season. That could be the only explanation I have, but he looks pretty strong. Does he have enough of those top 2 who've been in the league of their own? And can he get by Richard right now?
Yeah, when you talk about Samet Oskin, 39 career top 5s. He is 7th on the board there in that category. But you look at the top 10s, and he is 3rd on the list all time at 77 top 10s through his career, behind just Allison Liera and Jonathan Zorlin, which Sorlin here, if he gets this top 10, would retie Allison Liera if Liera is unable to start marching back forward, and they would be tied at 86 again on the top 10 list.
Yeah, I'm just seeing too much battling for 30s. These top 2 are starting to run again. It's just ebbing and flowing. Fitzwater, by the way, on his update, he is starting to catch Dylan Young's draft, but even then, 5 seconds is still too late.
Yeah, he is still fading away from the top 2. Just to touch on top 5s, Liera has a clear mark there. Still 59 career top 5s over Sorlin's 51. Sorlin could be looking to close that gap here this afternoon as well. Seth Cole with 45, Charles Sanford 43, and then Fitzwater and Andrew Rich both with 41, which is impressive for Andrew Rich considering he has missed a season compared to the rest of those drivers.
Looks like Sanford once again using a strong line in 1 and 2. Stays tucked in. No, I think they're going to have to start playing a little bit of less games. There's that 3rd place could start closing in with the wake and the drag on these cars. And that's what Sanford's starting to realize here. Let's just run a little bit more, then we'll start making moves.
And you see that time by, Sorlin ran a 25.691, so the tires really haven't fallen off much over the course of this race for the Cup drivers. See, they're a little down on straightaway speed, but they're still able to grip pretty good in the corners.
Yeah, if it was the same corner speed, usually it means it's hard to pass, and that's what you're seeing here today. It's a little bit harder to pass compared to the Truck Series, but Zorlin, got to be careful. Same with Sanford. I think Oskin is closing as Baranowski's looking for 8.
Yeah, Baranowski's got by Kate Anderson, and now she is looking for 8th place. I want to point something interesting out here. Evans Gardner Motorsports. Remember Rob Evans had that crazy crash, I believe it was 2 years ago? Went flying through the air here. I just want to point out, the team used to be a 4-car team with Quentin Moore on that 4th car. Now, things happened over the end of last year. Quentin Moore now with Roush Fenway Racing. Evans Gardner Motorsports now a 3-car effort. But just look at where those drivers are running, Vince. 5th place is Quentin Moore. Fitzwater is 8th. Kate Anderson is 10th. Kate Anderson did great things yesterday. And then Rob Evans is 11th. There's something with those drivers. They have just they're having a great day today, even if Quentin Moore is no longer a part of that stable. I mean, it's just impressive to see all of those drivers up here in the top 11.
I think a win's coming for this team. I think Fitzwater will probably lead the charge, maybe get a win as Baranowski looks for 8th, but nearly, yeah, almost hit the wall there. But great run off the exit. Fitzwater's going to hold his own, but I think she should be able to clear with a block pass into 3 as they are catching Young for sure now.
Yeah, it looks like Dylan Young might fall back to both of these two. As Audra's looking to clear through 3 and 4. Zorlin is still the race leader up front. Fitzy with a good run there off of turn 4. 7 laps to go here at the Illinois State Fairgrounds. See Fitzy holding a pretty good line on the high side there through turn 2. We'll see if he tries a crossover here. As here comes Rob Evans on teammate Kate Anderson looking for 10th place.
Rob looking really good here. As you can see, the battle up front, though, I think we might get there. No, actually lost a little time. The Sanford Oskin's actually closing him just a little bit.
Yes, it looks like Enzo Nareza had a problem, and he is now a lap down. Hearing he had a flat tire a while ago, and we just completely missed it. But no harm there. Doesn't look like they're going to catch Zach Carrington or anybody, so no lappers will be involved here in the finish of this race. 5 laps to go. Sorlin extends it another 1/10 of a second over Charles Sanford.
Sanford's looking for more cleaner air. I think he just can't find it. The corner speeds are too similar on both of these top 2 and really the top 5. There's a little bit of draft for Zorlin. He's starting to sniff a little bit of that 34. Just a little bit.
4 laps to go. Fast lap now actually belongs to Charles Sanford as we check it again. Him and Oskin, man, setting 25 5s. A 580 for Sanford and a 595 for Oskin. Got Rob Evans, Derek Hamill, Skylar Taylor up there. Even Audra Baranowski is top 10 on the time chart. No one's slower than a 25.97. So, man, just a very tight competitive field here this afternoon. 3 laps to go.
Sanford's looking again. He's going to try to search low, but he can't find the grip in 3 and 4. That's the key. 1, 2, he's better, but where is he going to find the movement in 3 and 4? That's the key.
He is right there on Jonathan Sorlin's back bumper. Does he make the move here? Sorlin's going to slide up. That might be a good defensive line.
It is.
Does Charles have enough bite? Nope. Sorlin gets the run. 2 laps to go.
See, Sanford backs up his entry in middle of the corner 1, 2, gets a great run exit, but where's he going to find that move in the 3 and 4 is the question. Once again, great arrow blocking by Sorlin.
They're catching Enzo Nareza, but I don't think they're going to catch him enough to be used as a pick. Maybe a sniff of draft to Sorlin here. White flag is out. 1 more lap to go at the Springfield Dirt Mile.
What can Sanford doing a 1, 2? Can he full send it in there, go lower? No. Sorlin's going to arrow block him up top. Yep. All he's got to do is hold that defensive line at 3 and 4. Take it home, buddy.
Down the back straightaway one more time. Jonathan Zorlin is going to add the Springfield Dirt Mile to his list of tracks that he has won at twice. Sorlin gets it done here. He's the first one to 2 wins in 2023.
number 20 on the career. Congratulations to him, man. That takes a lot to get to 20 wins in anything. 20 is incredible.
That's his 13th Speedway intermediate win. That counts for all tracks, 1 mile, 1.5 mile, even the 2 milers. 13 times, and now he just trails Allison Liera there. Or actually, he has just trailed Liera recently there on the Speedway list. Number of wins on a Speedway. Liera has the most at 14. Liera with 1 Super Speedway win and 1 road course win. But 20 wins for Jonathan Zorlin. Very historic mark. We'll have to see how high he can climb it. There's still 12 races to go. Is 25 out of reach with the competition level here? It might be. Seems a bit unrealistic, but with the return back to this package, Vince, since Texas now, Zorlin is 2 for 3. He had a terrible race at Indianapolis, though, which you wouldn't think considering how good he does on the speedways. So we'll have to see how Chicagoland goes. Zorlin's got a win there before, I believe. I believe he won the race in his 2021 championship. To double check on that. But 2 more tracks that are up Zorlin's Alley are up next. Chicagoland and Darlington. And then we don't see another speedway until Homestead. That is crazy, man. Just looking, I know we do this all the time at the end of races, but just looking at the second half of this calendar, Dega, Dubai, Milano, Pukekohe, Richmond, Martinsville, Papyrus, Homestead, Pensacola, Atlanta. We only have 2 intermediates, and they're right at the end of the year, so Zorlin's going to have to show us how good he is again on short tracks and stuff, because it's going to be tough. But I think the championship, still pretty tight here. Let's go over the rest of your top 10. So Charles Sanford coming home short in second. Second time he's done that to Zorlin here at Springfield. Samantha Oskin, third. Richard Johnson, another great race in fourth. Quinton Moore, fifth. Kev Shearer, sixth. Dylan Young just holds on to seventh over Audra Baran-Auskis in eighth, with Fitzwater ninth and Rob Evans 10th. Man, how about a good day for Skylar Taylor, 11th, Kate Anderson, 12th, Seth Cole, 13th, Nate Rogers, 14th, I believe with Oskin's third. Oskin will take the points lead, but you'll see for certain here after the race results come up. How about a day for Derek Hamill, 15th, Chris Harvey in 18th, Dennis Moore, 19th. Pretty good day for him. Jesse Turner, 22nd. Zach Flickinger, 26th. RJ Bishop, 27th. Keith Rich, 29th. Andrew Rich, 30th. Man, Allison Liera, 31st. Cole Deaver, 32nd. Jessica Shelton, 36th after that incident earlier on. And there's the end of the results. You'll get the full race results here along with the point standings. Digital Storm is off next week as Jerky Pro heads to Michigan for a standalone race. That's sure to be a wild one. Not sure if the homie Vince is going to make it. We'll have to wait and see. But want to thank Vince for being able to make both races here at the Illinois State Fairgrounds. And what'd you think of this weekend this year?
Different, just different. The truck series was completely different. We only saw basically a standoff of 2. Here we had a little bit of a mix of Sanford versus Zorlin, but I think Zorlin just had a better car in clean air. Maybe a snip of Nereza's draft at the end helps the straightaway speed just a tick. But overall, I'm going to give this one a solid 9.2 on the old top 10, or 9 out of 10 on the rating chart there. Not bad. See what happens. And, yeah, it's scheduled, man. I'm going to tell you right now for these covers, that's very random at the back half of the season. So I don't think this championship is done dusted. I think we could see someone random win it this year. Got a feeling.
Yes, indeed. It's going to get crazy on the road courses, and especially the short tracks. Martinsville is always a wild card, so having it near the end of the season should be interesting. But that's it for us. And I will see you guys next time for Jerky Pro at Michigan.
Signing off.